two, one, and you're live.
Mhm. Hello, friends. Welcome to a special episode of Med Missionary. We are live and we have a very important topic today. We're talking about insomnia. This is a big issue for probably 20% of Americans. They say it's 15, some people say 17%, but I think it's more than that. But we are going to start with a word of prayer. Let me see. Hopefully more and more people are joining. I'm just gonna check YouTube right now to see if I can answer some questions. Okay. Okay, so we like let's start with a word of prayer. Okay, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for allowing us to do this program, and I just want to ask you that this will be a blessing for many people that are suffering from insomnia and other related conditions. So I just want to ask you that this is clear and helpful, and so just want to ask you your presence and please guide us in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so I'm gonna share my PowerPoint here. Okay, we have a slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so insomnia is a huge problem. A lot of people that come to our lifestyle center, they suffering from insomnia, and some people chronically suffering from insomnia. According to the this is a statistics survey, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, 12% of Americans have been diagnosed with chronic insomnia. Okay, so what is involved? Usually, it can be difficulty sleeping. Some people have difficulty staying asleep. Some people wake up so early, or they wake up throughout the night and they have hard time to going back to sleep. So this is very common. What are the consequences of not sleeping? So, one thing is fatigue. Of course, fatigue, low energy, trouble concentrating, feeling depressed, anxious, irritable, low motivation. If I don't sleep well one night, the next day I cannot function well. I am kind of useless. and of course I'm gonna be anxious, kind of anxious, irritable, and very hard time concentrating. So in the long term, it's going to be low energy also. So it is very important to, take care of this issue. Also, the impact is the link to many diseases. So we have people that Alzheimer's disease is linked to insomnia, also Parkinson's. So these are very serious conditions, related to neurological issues. So it's not just Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It's going to affect you, other areas of your brain. Also going to be linked to diabetes, heart, obesity, thyroid issues, depression, stroke, certain forms of cancer, pain, asthma, GI problems, reflux disease. So it's linked to many things. So here's a study that shows that is linked to hypertension, diabetes, obesity, depression, heart attack, and stroke. So that's one study. And then we have another one that's showing here that is cancer and asthma, heart burning, and the neurological conditions. So then we have, so you guys are not seeing my, I'm scrolling my,
Yeah, right now we just see the cover page where it says Goodbye Insomnia.
okay, I don't know I was sharing, but let me start again because it should be showing. Okay, I'm gonna share again and gonna be sure because I was scrolling the PowerPoints.
Okay, we see circadian rhythm, sleep disorders.
Okay, so I can just continue. Um,
Yes.
okay, so then one of the reasons we suffer from insomnia is because our circadian rhythm, this is our biological clock, it is not functioning well. So I usually say it's upside down. And because we don't, we don't do things in order. God is a God of order. And let's say when we eat at different times or we sleep at different times, this just really affects the circadian rhythm, the biological rhythm, and it's going to affect our sleep pattern, and it's going to bring many diseases. So this is very, very, very important to know how to fix the circadian rhythm. Okay, I'm just trying to see if some people are joining. You can put your questions also in YouTube. Okay, so this is going to be super, super important to fix the circadian rhythm. I'm going to just tell you a story. There was a gentleman, a young gentleman that I was coaching, and this young person, he was sleeping whenever he could because he was so sick, and he just had to rest whenever he could rest. So I was asking him, what time do you go sleep? Oh, sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes I sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Whenever I can, I sleep, and I had to sleep whenever I feel like I can sleep. But I don't have a rhythm for sleeping. So I said, well, that's the big problem for your disease. He was disabled. This person, he's young, Masu, and after he had COVID, he couldn't work anymore. And so I realized this gentleman is not going to get better unless he fixes the circadian rhythm, unless this is fixed. So the sleeping pattern had to be normal. And so to get this circadian rhythm, working properly, people had to follow certain steps, which we're going to talk about. But this is the key for, recovering from insomnia. So this is very important. So according to this study from PubMed, says circadian rhythm sleep disorders are characterized by a persistent and recurring pattern of sleep disturbance. See, the circadian rhythm has totally to do with sleep disturbances. And I can just tell you, if you're sick from any other conditions, you will not be able to recover unless you restore your pattern of sleeping and your circadian rhythm. People that go to sleep late all the time and they're chronically ill, that needs to be fixed. Because even for anybody, for myself, I recover from autoimmune disease for over 20 years now. But if I don't sleep well, I'm gonna crash. So I know, and so even for people that are very healthy, it's very important to continue following a good sleeping patterns. So okay, so this is totally related. Okay, circadian rhythm totally related with insomnia. Okay, I'm gonna continue the next one. Melatonin. Okay, so melatonin is very important to also sleep well. the main function of the pineal gland. So the pineal gland, if you see here, is right here. So the pineal gland is receiving information about the cycle. Is the cycle of the circadian cycle, which is the dark and the light cycle from the environment. So that is the important thing about this, the pineal gland. That's what it does. That's the work. So here is where the brain produces melatonin, and melatonin is totally related to sleeping. So if you're releasing good, amounts of melatonin, you'll be able to sleep. But if you're not, you won't. So that's why we have to fix it. So, and this melatonin is related to the circadian rhythm. So it has to do with the light and the darks. The day is the cycle of the days when it's light, and the cycle of the nights when we go sleep is dark. So this is very important. And if you see the pineal gland here, you get the light through your eyes, and that's going to have an effect into your pineal gland, and the pineal gland is going to release not just melatonin, because melatonin is going to be produced by another hormone that we're going to talk about it. Okay, so then we have when the levels of melatonin are low, as you see here, you're going to have circadian rhythm that is going to be sleep disorders. Okay, so serotonin is the precursor of melatonin. So you need serotonin to produce melatonin. So the pineal gland is going to use serotonin to synthesize melatonin. So you need serotonin. And we're going to talk about how you get serotonin, because this is the key, as I said. Okay, so, something happened here. I think in my computer, one second, it's showing something else.
Right now it's just white, a white screen.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened with let's see. Let me stop again, and I'm going to share again. Okay, it just disappeared. So I'm going to find my... I need to find the PowerPoint, one second. I don't know what happened. Okay, so getting it. I found it. So let me know if we can see it. Let me see.
So far we can see your PowerPoint.
You can see it?
Right now, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not full screen, but we see the main dashboard of the PowerPoint.
Okay. So let me find wherever we were then. Okay, I need to do a slideshow, and then from current slide. Okay, are we okay now?
See, it looks like it's loading. And we're good.
Okay. Okay, so we said that the circadian rhythm is going to be linked to these hormones. So it's the serotonin, the melatonin, they both are hormones. The serotonin is also a neurotransmitter, so it is more than hormone. The next one is the serotonin as I said, is the precursor of the melatonin. I think we talked about that already. Okay, what happens if we have low levels of serotonin? They are linked to see brain conditions like depression, anxiety, insomnia, and other mental health conditions. So if somebody called me and they said, I'm dealing with I'm dealing with any neurological condition, so even schizophrenia, I know that the circadian rhythm is not functioning well. So I'm gonna ask them their sleeping pattern, and usually they don't sleep well. So that needs to be fixed, or people that are taking also some medications. They're gonna have decreased melatonin usually. Um, so it's gonna be a big problem. Serotonin is a crucial neurotransmitter. It's produced by the essential amino acid called tryptophan. So this is very important to know the sequence. So to produce melatonin, um, you need serotonin, and to produce serotonin, you need tryptophan. So tryptophan is an amino acid. So you have to eat foods that have tryptophan, that produce tryptophan. So we're gonna show you what are those foods, but just learn about the sequence. You have to have tryptophan to produce serotonin. Serotonin also is gonna produce melatonin. Tryptophan is always also you're gonna not tryptophan, but serotonin. You also get it from the light, and we're gonna see that. Okay, here's an study shows also tryptophan, and when tryptophan is low, it's gonna be linked to depression. So here's another study showing that tryptophan is gonna be linked to anxiety. Why? Because if you have a low tryptophan, you're going to have low serotonin, you're going to have low melatonin. So all this is very important to have a balance of these hormones, neurotransmitters. It has to be a balance. The brain has to be, otherwise it's unbalanced, and then we're going to suffer seriously of mental conditions, and it's going to affect our health in general. So it's very important to sleep well. Okay, here are the tryptophan sources. So leafy greens, sunflower seeds, watercress, pumpkin seeds, broccoli, peas. So, we train medical missionaries, and we train very heavily on nutrition. We train how to eat a balanced, plant-based, and also anti-inflammatory diet. We prepare everything from scratch because we want to be people to recover. So we just help them from every angle. And these are foods that are included, except watercress. It's not in the list of things that we eat, but that can be added. But all the other foods are included in our diet, in our menus, tryptophan. So these are important to eat these foods to be able to produce serotonin. Okay, serotonin production. This is I found that this to be very interesting. To produce okay, the serotonin is produced by the digestive tract. So it's about more than 85% is produced by serotonin by the gut. Can you believe that? Before they thought it was just the brain, but the brain is a smaller percentage. So they're produced in the gut. And what is directly linked to the production is this type of cells. They're called enterochromaffin cells. Okay, remember, enterochromaffin cells. So these are the cells that are going to produce the serotonin, but they need tryptophan to produce serotonin. Okay, remember. So you have to have good nutrition, eating foods that have tryptophan, because they are going to have an effect into the enterochromaffin cells to produce serotonin. Okay, another thing that is so important is the microbiome. The microbes are going to trigger those cells EC cells to produce serotonin. So that's another link. So enterochromaffin. Okay, so enterochromaffin. Okay, so we're gonna review the cycle. You need microbes. You need your microbiome to be balanced and have certain types of bacteria to trigger the EC cells to use the tryptophan to produce serotonin, and this happens in the gut. And as I said, more than a big percentage, 95% or 85, something like that, but it's more than 80% is produced in the gut. So this is very important to know because there is a gut and brain connection, with all this. So we have to have good digestive system functioning well and good microbiome to produce all these components to be able to produce the melatonin, which is what helps us sleep. So this is very important to know. So who would have thought that the microbiome, microbes had to do with sleeping, but, more and more studies are showing the microbiome is linked to neurological conditions, schizophrenia, all these serious neurological conditions, MS, things like that. So how do we fix that? So the way we fix it is doing eating plant-based, feeding with all kind of fibers, variety of fibers to the microbes, so we can have a good balanced microbiome. So more and more I'm realizing that, wow, this is really the key to recover. The microbiome had to be balanced. We call it normobiosis. If we had dysbiosis when the bacteria is unbalanced, dysbiosis is when we have more pathogenic bacteria than beneficial bacteria. So that's when we're sick. So we had to change that. When we change that, all these neurological conditions go away. And I'm just going to tell you another story. One of our missionaries that took our course, he lives in Africa, South Africa. So he took our course because he was having a lot of digestive issues. And as I said, the digestion in the brain, there's a link there. And he took our course and he said, yeah, not a problem. My digestive system symptoms went away and I recovered from that. But that wasn't, as bad as that wasn't the great thing. He said, what it really was impactful in my life was that my anger disappeared. The brain, he was having a lot of anxiety and anger. He was also traumatized when he was a child, things like that. But all that disappeared also. It was gone. And he said, that is the biggest blessing I had. I didn't expect that at all. But, so when you fix the microbiome, it's going to fix a lot of issues that we have, including neurological conditions. So that's why it's very important to know how to eat healthy with plant-based, that is whole plant-based, that is balanced, and is no chemicals, meaning no processed foods, cooking from scratch, just like the way God designed it, right? The way our parents used to prepare our foods. So that is very important. And this is a case also of insomnia. Okay, serotonin production. Here we demonstrate that microbiota plays a critical role in regulating serotonin. So that's another study there. Okay, and we found out what are the bacteria that produce, they're linked to produce the serotonin. So they found out Streptococcus, Enterococcus, Escherichia, Lactobacillus, Klebsiella, and then there was one, maybe it's here. That was another study I'm missing. They say a specific bacteria. And then I was checking, that doesn't seem a good bacteria. It seems that it's a pathogenic bacteria. But then I check it out. All the species of that type, and there's different types. So, there's a specific of, there's families and species, and so there's a specific ones that help produce. So the serotonin in this study showing specifically which ones. That's why we had to eat to balance our bacteria. Okay, so another thing is sunshine and serotonin. This is very, very important because you have to have the first light in the morning. It's not about the the sun directly into eyes, is the light, sunlight, the light, the first light in the morning when our eyes need to be exposed to that light. So, remove your glasses, go outside, drink your water, and get that first light in the morning to start the production of serotonin. It's another way to produce serotonin, which is very, very, very important. I'm just gonna tell you this story again back to the young gentleman that I was helping. So I told him, okay, this is, so he said, you're gonna have to get up on time when the light is out and, look into the light. He said, no, I cannot do that. I'm gonna crash, he said. I'm going to crash because whenever I can sleep, I'm going to sleep. I'm just going to I just cannot do that. If I'm, if I falling asleep, I had to keep sleeping because that's the only way to survive. Okay, so I said, let's do something. Can you wake up, put your timer at whatever the time the light comes out, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, depending on the time of the year. Come outside for 10 minutes and then go back to sleep. Can you do that? I said, yes, I can do that. So he started doing that. In few days, he started sleeping better, feeling better. In just few days, he started feeling much better. He was like, I have no energy. He had to be a lot, most of the time had to be in bed. So just making that change, getting the first light in the morning made a huge impact in his health. That's how important it is because in the morning you're going to get the serotonin that you need to produce at night, the melatonin. So this is very important, and this is what is going to change the way, and you'll be able to sleep at night if you get that first light. Most likely, right? It can be other reasons why you have insomnia. Could be stress, could be could be many things, but we're going to address most of it. Okay, stress is linked to insomnia. Sometimes we're so stressed out, so um, stimulated by something that we cannot fall asleep. So there's one thing that you can do for that. The hormones, stress hormones are just very high in your body, circulating throughout your body, and we want to decrease that. So the way we do it is taking deep breath. We learned this from Dr. Bill Sweat, that he said that this has just the deep breathing exercise has an impact, stop the release of the stressful hormones. So stress hormones. So we take a deep breath. This is what we do. Take a deep breath, 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 6 seconds. And you do that. And what he says is do it when you wake up, after meals, because it's going to help with digestion also, and when you go sleep. And this is going to be very impactful. So you do about 4 times a day, and you do it, maybe 5 to 10 times at a time. The worse you are, the more you're going to do it, right? So sometimes I am helping, patients that are super sick, not just with insomnia, not necessarily insomnia. They're sick from whatever condition they have, and they're going under a lot of stress just because they're very sick. So I tell them, okay, you really need to realize we have to stop those stress hormones to be being released constantly, causing inflammation. So I tell them, you do deep breathing exercises 10 times every hour, just for a few days until everything calms down. So they do that. You put your timer. I tell them to put the timer. It's very important to do this. So this is something that is going to help you with the stress of being sick, or the stress of, whatever might be causing the stress. So this is very, very important to help you with insomnia. And then we have eating too late. According to I think this is from Mayo Clinic. Yeah, this is from Mayo Clinic. They say eating too much late in the evening. I will say not eating at all, uh, in the evening. The latest that we could figure it out that you can eat is at 5:30, and it has to be a light meal. So a light meal at 5:30, that should help. So eating too much, we don't want to eat too much. If you had to eat the third meal, because we prefer 2 meals a day is much better. It will help you sleep better. Um, so that's another key. Eat light if you had to eat, and you eat at 5:30 the latest. And if you eat dinner, we usually do fruit and maybe cereal, something easy to digest. We don't do greens because of fats. They're very hard to digest, or legumes. We don't do that for dinner. So those are things that will help you. Going to the next one. Okay, this is very important also. If you want to regulate your circadian rhythm, you have to eat on regular schedule. You have to have a regular schedule for sleeping and for eating and for, yes, especially sleeping, eating, working schedule. So according to this, for example, changing shifts at work or traveling can disrupt your sleep-wake cycle. So some people work, 1 week mornings, 1 week afternoons, 1 week nights. This is super, super detrimental for the circadian rhythm. This is gonna bring your health down, and this affects, it's better just to work nights than changing shifts, because it's gonna affect terribly the circadian rhythm. I'm not advocating for night shifts because they're detrimental. We are upside down, but the shift, changing shifts is even worse. So we really want to work during the day, go sleep at night, especially people have serious condition. Some people, come to our lifestyle center and they have cancer working nights. Say, you want to survive, you really, really need to change your shifts of working. Okay, now we're gonna go for a review, give you more tips about how to recover from insomnia. Okay, this is kind of a review and gonna be a little more practical. And I'm gonna start looking at if somebody has questions, just please type your questions. Okay, keep the time you go to bed and the time you wake up the same every day. So yeah, I put my timer in the morning, every morning. I'm not, I usually don't like to get up early, but I make myself to get up early every morning for years. Usually I tend to, when I was younger, I really loved sleeping, sleep over and going to sleep late. But I just forced myself to go sleep on good time and get up early. So I do that. I put my schedule. I see clients very early, just to make myself going early because I know this is healthy for me and I want to keep a pattern of sleep. Expose your eyes to the first light of the day. So don't forget that this is kind of like a summary. So just bring your water outside. We recommend to do lemon water in the morning, every morning. Our students for Med Missionary, that's what they do. And get outside and just get the first light of the day. So get regulate your circadian rhythm. Another thing is that some people wake up like at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They cannot go back to sleep. So for that, you would want to expose your eyes to the light at mid-afternoon. So you just go outside, go for a walk mid-afternoon, or just sit down and read, whatever you want to do. It'll be great. Walking will be wonderful mid-afternoon, and that will help you regulate the sleeping during the night, not to wake up so early in the morning. Another thing that you will do is walk 30 minutes twice a day. Walk fast. You have to exercise to be able to sleep well. So walk 10 minutes 2 times a day. Another thing that we do is nap in the morning if you need. If you're tired and you just couldn't sleep, tell our guests that come to La Salle Center, take a nap. You need to, cannot spend energy you don't have. So take a nap, but the nap they have to take is in the morning, never a nap in the afternoon. It's only a nap in the morning. Early dinner, any early light dinner or no dinner, we talk about that. Do not use caffeine. Caffeine is gonna decrease greatly the release of melatonin. So that's gonna be a very detrimental for your health. So, a lot of people that come to a lifestyle center, they come and, and of course we don't have coffee here. So what we do is the next day, I know they're going to have a headache. So what we do, we put hot water in the legs all the way to below the knees. And then we put a cold towel in the head. For about 15 minutes, the headache is gone. We repeat that the next day, they might have another headache and then they're fine. They don't have any more issues. So it takes a couple of days to get rid of the side effects of stop using caffeine. Also, drink during the day. Do not drink fluids at night too late because it's gonna keep you awake. Myself, if I get up, I go back to bed and I fall asleep immediately almost. So it's not a problem for me, but it can be a problem for people that suffer from insomnia. So I wouldn't drink too many fluids at night or no fluids at night. I'd probably stop drinking at 3 o'clock. Okay. Contrast showers really help. For some reason, what we notice is when people take contrast showers in the morning, it gives them the energy, right? Because they're energized and they go to work and it's kind of like drinking coffee. But at night, when you do contrast shower, you go lay down in bed, it helps you relax because you're not going to work. You just laying in bed and it just makes you relax. So it can have the different effects depending what you're gonna do during the day. So for us has work contrast showers twice a day when you have serious insomnia and be sure to take the contrast showers at night. And then another thing that we do, we use lavender and put lavender behind the ears, especially in the feet, especially below your nose. You want to be smelling that, smelling the lavender. You want to do that because that is an anxiolytic, decreases your anxiety. So, when we just cannot sleep, we get anxious just because we cannot go sleep. So lavender is good. Sometimes, you know what I do? People are really serious insomnia. I in a little gauze, like a 4x4, I just fold it. I spread a lavender and I tape it like a mustache, tape it like this so they can keep breathing. I put good amount of that and they can keep breathing. It's just the aroma that's so pleasant, make them relax. It's kind of like Xanax, as I say. So that's what I do with some people that are coming and they're very they have serious issues with insomnia. Okay, so another thing I do is gentle massage. So I give them, I say, okay, go sleep, get ready, you're gonna go sleep. So I put in my fingers some of the lavender and give them massage from top down like this. In the back, softly massage. And for maybe 5 minutes, something like that. And I just leave the room very quietly. And usually that helps them go asleep. So somebody can give you a massage, or you can do just with one hand, perhaps, or have somebody do it. That'll be super good. Okay, so eat foods that contain tryptophan. We said what foods contain tryptophan. Also, as I said, be sure that you eat whole plant-based foods to balance your microbiome. That means variety of foods. The more species of bacteria you have, we wanted hundreds of them, not just few. That's why probiotics don't work, because they have species, billions of certain species causing an imbalance of the bacteria. We want hundreds. And the way we do that is eating foods that we rotated. So we don't eat the same thing every morning, like oats every morning. We rotate our pseudograins, and we do also rotate our legumes, different legume every day for 4 days. Then we put different type of vegetables also when we eating. And so everything is balanced and rotated, because we're keeping in mind that we had to fix the bacteria, right? Remember, that's the beginning of fixing the problem of the melatonin release. So that is very important. Another thing is manage stress. So remember, do the deep breathing exercises at least 4 times a day. And two other things that I want to add it here is we notice when we do a poultice, charcoal poultice, it really helps people sleep. Maybe 80% of people, it helps them sleep. Very few people have not, but most of the people really help them sleep. So we want to do really want to do the poultice. It's a charcoal poultice, has really helped most of the people that come here to help them with insomnia. It is the gut and brain connection, right? Um, I don't know exactly that the inflammation, probably decrease inflammation, and inflammation, you have gut inflammation, you're going to have brain inflammation. So we don't know, there's no studies about the mechanism, but we just know that it helps. And that was one more thing I want to say that I did put in the PowerPoint that has helped us a lot with these issues, and not just insomnia, but neurological conditions. And it is the enemas we do, because the problem is the bacteria, right? The bacteria, you have to have the right bacteria, and you have to have varieties of species. So we do vegetable enemas, but this is a little kind of, I will say, very advanced therapy, even though it is just an enema. So what we do is different vegetables, we just blend it with water. I mean, you pick up 3 vegetables, whatever it is, whatever vegetables, and then you blend it with water, dilute it enough. We actually put a onion garlic broth, blend it, dilute it enough so it won't get stuck in the in the line of the enema bag. And just do about 1 cup, and that is going to start feeding bacteria. The next day you do different vegetables, and the next you do different vegetables, different. So imagine it's going to fix all these bacteria that are not balanced. So we feel that this is really a key for help you balance your bacteria. If you can do it, I don't think it's necessary, because making all the other changes probably will help you restore. A lot of people are so scared of animals, and when they come to us, they're scared. But once they do it one time, no problem at all. It's simple, actually. But okay. So I'm gonna go to some questions. What is essential oil? So we do lavender. So it's the lavender that makes people relaxing. Yeah, if it's so pleasant. Just keep smelling that. It's gonna make you sleepy and relax. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, while you type questions, I'm just gonna say that if you have any health issues that you want to recover, we invite you to sign up for our Med Missionary course. And that's what we do. We help people to balance your bacteria, eating very healthy foods. We help you to fix your leaky gut, which is linked to many conditions, including, neurological conditions, because when you have a gut inflammation, you're going to have inflammation of the brain. So we take care of that. teach you how to do that. And if you see in Med Missionary our testimonies, we have hundreds of testimonies helping people recover from serious conditions. I just remember, actually today, this morning, I interviewed a lady who was suffering with MS. We figured out she was suffering MS from 47 years since she was 21. She was diagnosed when she was 21. So, she was diagnosed when she was 21. She probably was suffering from MS a few years before because it takes about 6 years to discover an autoimmune, usually. And so now she's 68. So she was suffering from MS 47 years. And then she start following our diet. And she said in 3 months, she's start feeling pretty good. Before she was just laying in bed and this is a neurological condition, right? She was laying in the couch most of the day. She could only cook one meal once a week because she didn't have energy and her legs were heavy and spasms. She had spasms. But now she said, I do not have spasms. My legs are not heavy. I'm up most of the day. I'm cooking for me and my husband every day. I'm just she's recovering. And so we're talking about, you getting older, we're getting older, but we're getting stronger and healthier. Isn't it amazing? When you're 68 or say going into your 70s, it's harder. But in this case, and in the case of many people following God's ways of, healing, you can have a great success applying all these principles. So I just want to invite you to join our Med Missionary course that we're gonna start this Sunday. This Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to have a live class. We have 6 live classes on Sundays at 7 o'clock Pacific time. And then there's 2 extra classes for you to finish because there's so much information in the website. Once you subscribe to learn, you will learn how to prepare all these foods from scratch and simple, healthy. And we will teach about our protocol. Our protocol, we use our super healing foods that are so good for the brain, and for many other conditions. So you will learn that, and now you will learn about natural remedies, how to do poultices, how to do for many, many things. Also, then we go over how to do when you have a serious condition there's nothing is working. And then we'll teach you how to be a coach. So for you to help other people. So many people have taken our class and we want you to be blessed by it. So I'm just gonna invite you to join us. Let me check if we have more questions. Okay, somebody say I will come. Jason was late, so he's gonna rewatch it. Okay, good. Where do you put charcoal poultice? Good question. So the charcoal poultice, we put it in the abdomen. So it is, about this size, and we put it in the middle of the abdomen, below your navel part, and just in that area. Put your so what we do is we use 6 tablespoons of charcoal, mix it with 2 tablespoons of flaxseed ground. So we just mix it with water and then put in a paper, and then paper towel, and then we cover it up with press and seal. And it just stays super nicely. So try it. That will be very helpful. Then we have another question. Okay. So I think we finished all the questions. So I'm just gonna pray, and I'm gonna do this again for the Spanish group. So if you speak Spanish and wanna join us in the Spanish, or you know anybody suffering of insomnia, just have them join Med Misionero in YouTube. But I'm gonna pray, and I hope to see you there on Sunday. So you will have to sign up tonight, hopefully the latest tomorrow. But if you have issues, Friday is difficult because we close Friday night. because we're Sabbath keepers. So we like you to sign up if possible tonight and no later than tomorrow morning, as early as you can, but it'll be better tonight so we can help you if you're having issues registering. So I hope to see you there on Sunday. Dr. Joche and myself will be there teaching you the first class. So let me pray and we will conclude it. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this program. Thank you because you have the answers for neurological problems, including insomnia. So I just want to ask you that we all are very mindful of doing following all these loss of health that you have given us for to be a blessing, not to be a burden, but to be a blessing so we can live, have a full life. And I just want to ask you that you restore the physical health as they followed your principles, and also that the spiritual health and mental health. So I just want to ask you to bless everybody that joined here and continue guiding us and blessing others. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you hopefully on Sunday.